Hey guys, Ed here, bringing you part 7 of the Super Soldier series. I hope that you guys enjoyed the longer video, and now I want to make sure that I give the shoutouts deserved. I like to give one to Kirusho. He helped me with part 5, 6, and 7, as well as other things in the making. And a huge shoutout goes to Blaze for always helping me brainstorm ideas, being my beta reader, and most importantly, a good friend. Of which, most of my stories would be very different without him. A link to their channels will be down in the description below if you're interested. But with that said, let's get into it. Fearless. Where last left off, Class 1A entered the USJ. As it did so, Izuku felt an ominous feeling, one he knew all too well. He looked frantically around for any evidence to support his claims, and there was a single spark of electricity close to the exit. Izuku putting his shield on, he would say, "Aizawa, we need to get the students out of here ASAP. We've been compromised." Aizawa anxious, he would say, "What are you talking about?" Kaminari clueless, he would say, "Yeah, dude, we just got here." Izuku, with a serious demeanor, he would say, "Apparently, it's an ambush. And by the looks of it, they knew that we were coming." Melissa would say, "What makes you so sure of that?" Izuku retorted by saying, "Having people coming after you trying to kill you, you get used to it and see it coming whenever there's a small irregularity. Just like in the savannah, and an experienced gazelle can see through the disguise of its predator and gets a head start, increasing its chance of survival." As I would say, "If that's the case, we need to make a plan. Izuku, the floor is yours." Izuku smirked and went to acting like a captain. As he would say, "Jiro, use your headphone jacks to see how many enemies we're dealing with. Shoji, you and Izumi will open that door, and the first one out has to be Ida to warn the principal and get help. As that is going on, the teachers and I will cover your backs as the rest of you try to escape from here." Bako would say, "Who cares? I want to kick some villain ass and make them run like bitches." Jiro would say, "I can hear a lot of people scattered around here." Izuku looked at Bakugo as he would say, "Bakugo, language." Ida, into lecture mode, he would say, "Finally someone other than me said it. This miscreant has to know proper manners." Izuku face-palmed, realizing what he said and regretting it, as he was to continue saying, "Well, as I was saying, Shoji, Izumi, Ida, you know what to do. Aizawa, 13, protect the students." Aizawa would say, "What about you? You're still my student." Izuku would say, "Well, the student is leading the operation, so you better keep up, sensei." Aizawa smirked as Izuku slowly made his way to the edge of the staircase. He took a deep breath, putting aside memories of the past he didn't want to remember, as he would say, "It's over. I know you're here. Show yourselves." That's when a portal started to appear in the middle of the USJ, and villains were coming out of it. And that's when a man covered with hands spoke up. As Shigaraki would say, "If it isn't the soldier, the man out of time, I am Tomura Shigaraki, and we are the League of Villains. We're here to end the symbol of peace, All Might. But since you're here, a little warm-up never hurt anybody." Izuku would say, "You know, last time someone with the same name tried to end time of peace, we end up disagreeing." Shigaraki would say, And you, a relic of the past, what are you going to do about it? Your glory days are over. This is the 22nd century. Just die already, old man. Izuku, irritated, he would say, we both know that you're trespassing. I'll give you a chance to surrender. If you oblige, I won't have to hurt you. What do you say, kid? Shigaraki would say, my name is Tomura Shigaraki, not Kid. Izuku would say, well, regardless what your name is, surrender or face the consequence. Shigaraki, annoyed, he would say, well, what are y'all waiting for? Bring me his head. But as soon as the villains started to charge at Izuku, one by one, the villains were getting knocked out, and villains that had emitter-type quirks were being neutralized by Izawa's quirk, and then taken out by Izuku, annoying Shigaraki in the process. Shigaraki would say, this is getting us nowhere! Kurogiri, bring up Plan B! Kurogiri would say, but Tomura, our master predicted that the first hero would be here. Shigaraki would say, Kurogiri, if Plan B is capable of taking down All Might, it will be enough to take down this old coot. Kurogiri obliged, and a bird-like creature made his appearance, and under Shigaraki's order, the creature blitzed Izuku. But fortunately for him, he used its size against it. Izuku managed to grab it by its feet, and he started spinning him around. At the right moment, he let go, sending the creature crashing into a fountain. Izuku would say, it looks like he started to make these things a little better. Shigaraki would say, what are you talking about? Izuku would say, this isn't the first time I've encountered these creatures. But they were so fragile, and I know their weak spot. Shigaraki would say, I would not be so sure of that. Nomu, kill this old coot. The Nomu charged at Izuku. Izuku prepared to hit it in the chest, and when they collided, Izuku stabbed the sharp edge of his shield into its chest. But he was assuming that it died. The Nomu grabbed onto Izuku's arm, and he slammed him around the ground and tossed him into one of the zones. After crashing through walls and with other villains surrounding him, he was having a flashback on how he used to be bullied in the past, only to realize that some students he told to escape were there as they took down the small fry. Izuku, injured, he would say, Shoji, Izumi, what are you guys doing here? Izumi would say, it's not just us, Baku and Kirishima over there. Izuku would say, still, what are you guys doing here? Shoji would say, after he went to face most of the villains, the mist guy opened a portal, injuring 13 and teleporting us into different zones. Izuku would say, did Ina make it out? Shoji nodded. As Izuku continued, he would say, good, which means it'll be a matter of time until help arrives. So all we have to do is stall for time. Kirishima, rushing over, he would say, Mito bro, are you alright? Izuku having trouble getting up, he would say, yeah, it seems so. I sure could use a hand though. Kirishima helping up, he would say, how are you okay? You were slammed around. Your arm seems to be broken. Izuku would say, I'll be fine, I just need a minute. Izumi tending to the injury, she would say, from the looks of it, it just looks dislocated. Shoji, do you think you could pull it back in place? Shoji would say, I'll try. Just so you know, I'm no medical expert. If something goes wrong, I can't help it. Izuku would say, don't worry. If Chio asks, it was my recklessness that made it worse. Shoji would say, Izuku, why put yourself in harm's way for us? All you do is fight. Why is that? Izuku taking a deep breath, he would say, in the words of a cranky old man, that's all I'm good for. Now, if you don't mind, could you pop my arm back into place? Soji, without hesitation, he tried his best to pop it back in place. Bakugo returned after clearing the area, only to see a weird attempt to put the arm back in place. Out of annoyance, he moved Shoji out of the way, and he did it himself, managing to put his arm back into place. Izuku, stretching, would say, "I appreciate it, Bakugo. I believe I owe you an apology. But before that, we need to get all of our classmates to safety, you included. And while we do so, we also have to stall for time." Izuku would say, "But that creature that threw you around, what about it?" Izuku would say, "Back in the day, I used to kill creatures like that all the time. They were based on dead people. They had a weak point in the chest, but it seems that it changed." Bakugo would say, "If they're based on people, why don't you aim for the head?" Izuku, smiling, would say, "I like the way you think. You remind me of a friend of mine back in the army." Izuku would say, "What's the plan?" Izuku would say, "I hold off and possibly kill that creature with the custom bullets I got from David's shield, while you get everyone else to safety and watch each other's backs. Got it?" Kirishima would say, "Wait, you know David's shield?" Izuku would say, "It was him that designed my outfit and weapons." Kirishima, sparkling eyes, would say, "That's so cool." Izuku returned to the main plaza, shocking Shigaraki, as the quartet did as told. Noticing Aizawa being pummeled to the ground, Shigaraki would say, "How are you still alive?" Izuku would say, "Does it really matter? I don't think you should underestimate me." Shigaraki, very angry, he would say, "Nomu, kill that motherfucker!" The Nomu charged at Izuku once again, but this time Izuku pulled out his hidden guns, and he put a lot of holes into the Nomu's body, trying to weaken it. Shigaraki would say, "It's pointless. This creature has hyper regeneration, shock absorption, super strength, and speed. This was supposed to take out All Might." Izuku, smirking, he would say, "But I'm not All Might. He's a thought compared to me. A counterfeit compared to the general article." Shigaraki would say, "What is that supposed to mean?" Izuku would say, "Simple. I'll do things that he wouldn't think of. The creatures are nothing more than dead humans given a second chance of life. But we can't even call that either, because they're nothing more than zombified slaves to do a coward's bidding. And you're worse. You're just a face for everyone to point at, as a coward will be undisturbed." The Nomu was about to attack Izuku, but Izuku managed to get one of his guns point blank underneath the mouth and fired it, causing Nomu to fall to the side. Shigaraki would say, "No, no, no! You're a cheater! A hack! How could you?" Izuku would say, "Have you ever considered that you underestimated me?" Shigaraki, changing his tone of voice, he would say, "No, but it seems that you underestimated the Nomu." Before Izuku could retort, Shigaraki started to laugh, and the Nomu got back onto his feet, and he sent a massive punch, sending Izuku flying to another zone, where everyone was currently in, including 13. But instead of crashing, Melissa, with her iron suit on, she caught him in midair. Melissa would say, "Has anyone ordered a jackass? Anybody?" Melissa dropped Izuku as if he was a package. Bakugo, having a smug face, he would say, "Sent flying again?" Izuku, a little bit irritated, he would say, "Yeah, I got distracted." Is everyone here? Melissa would say, of course they are. Izuku would say, good. Then someone will have to take Aizawa, he's down, and possibly needing medical assistance ASAP. Mina would say, but what about you? Izuku would say, I'm fine. I've been through worse. Jiro would say, not the point. Izuku thinking he would say, Ochako, your quirk will be useful in this task. Sero, double your tape and grab onto her as she grabs Aizawa, then pull the two of them. Ochako would say, but I can't do it to people or things of over a certain weight. Izuku would say, alright, then Momo, you'll be making something with wheels that can be pulled. Momo would say, my quirk works on creating things by using my fat lipids. This morning I only had an orange juice. Izuku sighing, he would say, look, I understand you're scared. The adults in the situation are down for the count. And everything fell on top of your shoulders. And you don't know if you can carry it. Asking yourselves, am I worthy? Can I do this? Will I be enough? I understand that. I've been there. I know what it feels like. Which is why I'm not asking you to fight. I simply ask you guys to get Aizawa out of there and save his life. Kirishima would say, but what will you do? Izuku would say, like I said before, I'll fight, because that's what I'm good for. I'll keep the creature off, but I need Aizawa out of there. Melissa, intervening, she would say, can't stay away from the glory days, huh? Izuku would say, what are you talking about? Melissa, with a smug attitude, she would say, you heard me, Mr. First Hero. You can't stay away from your glory days, so you're making it so that you were the one to save the students, while the teachers were down. Izuku Noya would say, I'm tired of your disrespect, Miss Shield. This is a matter of life and death. You shouldn't be taking it lightly. You either stop playing hero and start following orders, or stay back. Melissa, with a sassy attitude, she would say, and do what? Izuku, having enough, he would say, stay back while playing with your toys in a toy factory, building yourself a castle, and act like daddy's spoiled little princess. All you want, away from the battlefield. Melissa, triggered, she would say, me? Daddy's spoiled little princess? No, if anything, you're the one being spoiled. Not just by your own father, but also my great-grandfather and my grandfather. You are an experiment, Midoriya. Everything special about you came out of a bottle. Izuku, disappointed, he would say, Marcus and Bart are probably turning in their graves right now. But right now, it's not the time for that. I don't care if you have problems with me. But the very least you can do is help out your friends and your teachers. And I know one of them is right over there, probably bleeding to death, because we're having this petty argument. I already said what I need you guys to do. Now, if your highness will excuse me, I have to make sure to keep that thing occupied with me, so that none of you die out there. As Izuku left, he started to have flashbacks hearing Melissa's words. But before he realized, he got sucker punched by an incoming Nomu, which sent him flying back to where the students were. The Nomu was looking for Izuku, but Melissa started to fire the Nomu out of frustration. But no matter how much she dished out of the Nomu, it was still there, and changed the target to Melissa. But her suit ran out of juice, and a massive punch was coming her way. Izuku stepped in and blocked the blow with his shield, but causing his arm to break. As the broken bone poked out the skin, while it started to bleed. Easily, without realizing, She used over 20% of full cowling and grabbed the Nomu by its feet, and he copied what Izuku did earlier, sending the Nomu back into the plaza. But once she got out of full cowling, she realized that her muscles were sore as hell. Izuku was in pain, and he expected damage. Baku, with a smug, he would say, "I guess you won't be able to do much." Izuku would say, "Which is why you're going to help me put it back in place." Baku would say, "But it's broken." Izuku would say, "So? I've done this multiple times. Just help me put it back into place. And Sero, we do need a lot of tape." Sero would say, "But haven't you heard that tape doesn't fix everything?" Izuku would say, "I used duct tape to stop a bleeding from a stab wound. It was a temporary fix, and that's all I need. Will you help me?" Sero couldn't help but have faith in Izuku, as Baku tried his best to align the forearm into place, and Sero secured it with a lot of tape. Izuku inspected it, and he noticed that he could still move his fingers. Izuku, grateful, he would say, "Thanks. Now, do as I said before, and please help Aizawa." Melissa stopping him, she would say, "Why did you jump in and save me?" Izuku would say, "Many reasons. Why? You think just because you treat me bad, I'm not going to save you or help you?" Melissa, blinking, she would say, "Precisely that." Izuku would say, "Being a hero is about putting fear aside and doing what needs to be done. Saving lives shouldn't be about likes or dislikes, priority or non-priority. Because if it did, that isn't heroism. Now, if you would excuse me, I have somewhere to be." Izuku went after the Nomu, and everyone stared at Melissa. Melissa would say, "Why are you guys staring at me?" Baku would say, "I don't want to agree with him, but he's right. But you aren't a spoiled little princess. You're mostly a bitch. The biggest bitch the world has ever seen." Melissa would say, "Ha ha, it takes one to know one, I suppose." Izumi would say, "Okay, can we come up with something and save Aizawa-sensei?" Melissa would say, "But before that, can someone help me out of this thing?" With Melissa out of her suit, Izumi tried to have everyone cooperate. We cut back to Izuku, returning where the creature was, but this time he wasn't going easy on the villains. He wasn't going to risk it when a life was on the line. Shigaraki, annoyed, he would say, "You are still alive? Why don't you just give up?" Izuku would say, "Because I can do this all day." Shigaraki, having an aneurysm, he would say, "Just die already, you're worse than a cat. Nomu, kill him!" As the Nomu attacked, Izuku dodged, and in his mind he was coming up with strategies, and as opportunity came, instead of shooting from under the mouth, he went directly for the brain, finally killing it. Before Shigaraki could say anything, Izuku shot him in the leg, making him fall to the ground, making sure that Aizawa was behind him. Shigaraki, panicking, he would say, "Son of a bitch! Kurogiri, Plan C, now!" Kurogiri opened another portal, but as soon as the next Nomu came out, Izuku's expression changed drastically. Izuku, angry and shocked, he would say, "How? How could you?" Shigaraki would say, "Well, I believe my master thought that you deserved the reward for all your efforts. And besides, this one waited for you all this time, and you failed her the most out of everyone." Izuku, infuriated, he would say, "You've crossed the line, villain. No, heartless monsters. You've lost whatever right you had as human beings. I'll straight up tear you to pieces." Shigaraki would say, "And you call yourself a hero? What hypocrisy." Izuku, angrily, he would say, "The heroes you know are nothing but glorified police officers, while I'm a soldier. who received the title of a hero that became the bane of your master's existence. Was he so afraid of me? Was I in the back of your master's mind, hoping that I died? So not only would he have me out of his way, but also defiling my corpse, just like he did with her? Aizawa managing to speak up, he would say, Izuku, calm down. He's trying to get under your skin. Izuku, angrier, he would say, calm? I'm anything but calm. This was all planned from the start, wasn't it, Shigaraki? This was all part of your master's grand plan. But I managed to follow that too. So, are you going to kill me yourselves because I'm a major thorn in that coward's side? As Izuku glared at Shigaraki with all of his killer intent, Shigaraki couldn't help his legs from shaking, but Shigaraki and Kurogiri were teleported away. And the creature started to attack Izuku. But Izuku only dodged. Meanwhile, the group that was tasked to get Aizawa noticed that the creature was different, and the bosses were gone. Kirusho would say, why is he fighting that creature like he did the other one? Minato would say, he's kind of scaring me. Kodo would say, did any of you see him having any sorts of weapons besides his shields? Sarah playing it off, he would say, he probably had them behind his shield or something. Kaminari would say, I think there's something off about him. Kirishima would say, what makes you say that? Kaminari would say, that creature looks like a woman. And that outfit looks like a hero's outfit. Izumi, you have hero notes. What hero is she? Izumi, you there? Izumi was watching in a trance as her mind was somehow transported to a landscape of sorts. And in front of her stood a figure like the one fighting Izuku. As the figure would say, please help him. He's going to die. Izumi, confused, she would say, who are you? Where are we? The figure would say, I can't tell you where we are yet, or the other would nag me. But please help my Izu. My name is Nana Shimura, the 7th user of One For All. Izumi, shocked, she would say, you're Izu? Wait, 7th user of One For All? So, you passed it down to All Might? Nana would say, yes, but Toshinori isn't important right now. Izuku is. Izumi would say, wait, you know Uncle Izuku? Nana would say, I was always there for him, and he was there for me. Izumi would say, so it was you. You're Uncle Izuku's girlfriend. Nana, blushing, she would say, well, maybe not. We never got that figured out. But now that I know he's alive, it just makes me wish I was too. But I don't know if he would want me. Izumi would say, why is that? Nana, shaking her head, she would say, not important right now. I need you to go and help him, because if you don't, he might die. Izumi would say, what are you talking about? We're going to get Aizawa out of there. Nana would say, he's not going to let anyone get involved, or nor is he going to fight back. That's just who he is. Izumi would say, but I can only control over 2%. Anything higher than that hurts my body, and that stunt I pulled still hurts. Nana would say, I know you don't have control over the power of One For All. I'm sure that Toshinori told you already, but the power of One For All increases with each user, which in theory means that your 2% could be my 10%. And if you will allow it, I can help you. But would you please help Izuku? To be continued.
That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more. Turn on the bell notification to be updated so you never miss a video. That said, peace out.